read it to you. Let's see if it's working. Okay, it's working. And I think I'm streaming. So we're just going to forget the coffee today. I got plenty to talk about and dig in. And I apologize for being a little late, but I got good stuff. Sometimes I hit a good article and it just takes me away and I can't make it on time. Time waits for no man. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Ta-da! Okay, small businesses cut marketing. Yeah, well, duh. I love the line, we can't regulate Facebook because they're a private business, but we can shut down every little business in America because we're afraid. And we just tell them, you can't be open. Walmart can be open, you can't be open. So what do you expect? They cut their marketing. Okay, I love excess needless digits. I had a math teacher in high school. This was when calculators were just coming out. They were $100 a piece for just a little no-function calculator, and he would mark you down for stuff like this. There were only 254 people polled, so we're going to go to the thousandths of a percent or something. So, oh, good Lord, get rid of this, Ray Schultz. You know better. That is trivial. It was 60% of those polled pivoted, whatever the heck that means. Do something, throw the stage back. 10%, 9% closed. We're going to go, Ray, come on, Ray. I'm going to write to Ray. 8% said they had no change. Okay, well, that's good. So these numbers at least kind of. In addition, there's some others. 32% cut back on their spending. 7% said they increased it slightly. Well, that's something. That's what you're supposed to do in recessions. That's what we did here. As you can tell, we upped our game dramatically. And 56% say that they are now back to the office, and 14% say that they're permanently back. They're permanently going to stay home and work from home. Now, we did that. Our main IT guy worked in Moscow, lived in Moscow for 15 years or something, Russia, 15 years. And he liked to work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., which means when he lived here in Milwaukee, you could never get a hold of him because he was sleeping. When he worked in Moscow, it worked perfectly. So, there's good on both sides. And that was back in the 90s, believe it or not. Okay, and this survey came from PostCardMania. Thank you much for that. Which brings us to the next story. PostCardMania strong job growth speaks to the significance of integrated direct mail marketing. Now, what's interesting too to me is this is from the IB Times. And I didn't know who the IB Times was. This is the International Business Times. I'm wondering if PostCardMania has a real PR agency or something, because they're in the news a lot. That Joy, she's in the news. Anyway, these days you see 6,000 to 10,000 ads every day. And I probably see more because I say hello to everybody. Anyway, that's double from 2007 when we thought it was unbearable. But some of it's because you're spending more time online and you don't, but the great part is you've learned to ignore the noise, right? That's a lot of noise. Aren't you glad I help you read these so fast? Okay, but PostCardMania obviously does postcards, and they added 40 new jobs, and revenue grew over 10%, which is pretty good year over year when you consider. Yesterday we were talking about the decline of print, or rather USPS volume, steady decline, horrible decline, 25% in 2020. But woohoo! Look at this. An ICW, I can never get that. I like companies like this that have a name. PostCardMania, I can remember that. Best Postcards, Andrew Ettinger, I can remember names. But letters strung together, IB Times, I don't know what that is. Anyway, that's after 41% down in earnings. Now that isn't quite the same as revenue, but it probably is pretty. It was probably bad there too in April and March. So they don't spend a whole lot of time saying what integrated marketing, direct marketing mail services are, but I happen to know you put some stuff in the mail, you put some stuff in the email, you put some stuff in the digital, and it all works together. And that's kind of how it works. And so it doesn't really tell you much about the company except that Joy started it in 1998. And I like this. This is her first office. And now her next office, her current office, is like, this is a real building. See that? Woohoo! So postcards are going good. I personally think there are better formats. As I've said, I tested business envelope for business to business, and I got a 400% increase in response rate. It was a small test, but that's what it is. And I think catalogs, pound for pound and dollar for dollar, get you the most information per square inch cost. But you have to have something to say. So you don't want to put postcard content spread over a 48-page catalog. That would be dumb. Always, everything has to be taken in context. Okay, here's the next article. 4 ways print businesses. I was interested in this because you don't see too many articles on how print businesses can help themselves. And Pratik, you should have somebody who speaks English look these over because it's very, very difficult to read, but I liked some of these things. Be a specialist in short-run printing. Okay, I mean, that's kind of a trap. You'd really rather try to get your customers to grow their circ, and that's the business of the WDMA. Like, subscribe, go over to WDMA.org and join and support our efforts. But ultimately, we do short run because we've been convinced by digital that personalization is everything. And we're going to get to an article, next article. You got to hang on with me. Hang with me here. Are we on LinkedIn? I didn't even see if we were. I was so tucked. I guess we are, yeah, because Craig's message came in earlier. I'll get over here and see if anybody's staying with me here. Okay, well, at least we're up there. This is working. Okay, watch out for short run. Obviously, you'd rather have longer runs, but you want to be able to do a short run. I'm just working on a project out of the UK that's a variety of stuff, all kinds of different formats and stuff. It adds up to a lot, but there's some of the individual jobs are very short. To me, they're very short run. I'm used to catalogs and hundreds of thousands. And so I knew, because I got a print tour and because they're members of the WDMA, thanks, Joe. I knew that they had a wide variety of capability and run length. And so I thought, these are the good fit for this. And so we're going to have our first meeting today. So after a bunch of, back and forth. So I'm very excited about that. So yes, you should be able to do short runs. I gave a keynote at R.R. Donnelly, years and years ago, and 250 salespeople. And I explained that when I got married, I told my mother-in-law that I was a junk mail expert. And she didn't, or I think I said marketing consultant, but that's like one notch up from a car salesman. And she looked at me kind of suspicious like, and it's like, what is that? All right. And, but we were married a few years, and then I got a print run at R.R. Donnelly down in Chicago, at the Lakeside Press. Oh my gosh. It was like a mausoleum. The library there was better than Memorial Library at Madison. I mean, it was a museum. And they had oak logs mounted vertically in the floor that were like 8 inches long to absorb the shaking of the big presses. It was quite an experience. And I went down there at 2 a.m. They said, honk the horn as you come around the corner and don't stop. The gate will open. So anyway, those days are gone now. But what I said in the keynote was, most most people would like to print with R.R. Donnelley. It's like when you're a contractor, you want to get a Caterpillar. Yeah, you can have a Hamachi excavator, but you'd really like it to be a Caterpillar instead. And what I mean is a no name. I made that name up. I have no idea if that's a real if that's an excavator company. But I said to Donnelley, I said, you need to be excited about the small up and coming companies, the small businesses that did increase their circ. And you need to figure out ways to encourage them and help them to get those press runs longer. And they gave me some really great terms. I wasn't even allowed to tell you the terms. 120 days after drop date. So we were just coming due on some signatures that we printed in December by the next December. That was really encouraging by R.R. Donnelley. Good company, great company. But anyway, the point is be flexible more than just short run. You don't want to just convince everybody to do short runs. Different types of paper. That was interesting. I have another article queued up, but I'm not going to get to it. Direct mail facilities. Yay! That's where we can grow the fastest because direct mail, unlike digital, is extremely scalable. You can just, there's always more names. You can just pour money on it and you can measure the results and you can see how deep you can go and you can tune it for profitability. So it's actually quite an extra finishes. It's quite a good article, but like I said, it's very difficult to read. But the show notes are available every day up on wdma.org. But this is the article I wanted to get to because it is beyond amazing. Bob Hoffman, I don't know much about Bob, says the devious tech weasels are making marketers look like fools. And it's complicit. Okay? He says, being a skeptic, you're going to like this guy. Being a skeptic makes you a better marketer. It's a fantasy festival. He said, talking at the Festival of Marketing, the bottom line, it's fantasy land where consumers want to have a deeper relationship with brands and invite them into their lives. I know I've always said that CRM was the dumbest label I've ever heard. Customer relationship management. First of all, it's not a relationship. I need a pair of shoes. I bought some last night on eBay. Secondly, you don't manage relationships. You know, if I brought home a bouquet of flowers and said to she said, what's the occasion? I'll say, I'm managing our relationship. I think she'd make me eat those flowers. But actually, no, she told me she would keep the flowers and enjoy them. But she would wonder what I was up to. Anyway, which is exactly what consumers are thinking. They don't care that much. Most people are perfectly satisfied with having the shallowest of connections with us. Like, I need a pair of shoes. What can I get by with, right? Advertising and marketing industry has lost touch with the real world. And all this talk of cultural anthropologists and brand architects is doing little more than papering over some dramatic, damaging cracks. Hoffman admitted, he said, I'm faking it. I always have been. I have no idea why anybody buys anything. Well, I have some ideas because we actually, in direct mail, unlike mass media and digital media, can find things out, levers that do work. It doesn't always give us the why, but we can tell the what and therefore do something. Industry likes to go in for precision guessing, and in fact, 90%, 97.26%, I just made that up, of statistics are made up. I did that for Ray Schultz. A lot of statistics are made up and a lot of stuff is guesses, especially when I can do real machine learning, but they can't because they don't have a labeled data set and they don't know why. They don't even know what they're missing. The ad agency has allowed itself to crawl into bed with the squids. I love this, like at Facebook and Google and the rest of the devious tech whistles, and it makes us look like fools, right? Because you don't even know who Facebook is showing your ad to. You know, at least on TV, you can see if the TV ad ran. You know, somebody can see it. You get some calls or something. On Facebook, it's all individualized. You don't know what's going on. Advertising has gotten worse. It's less effective. It's more annoying, disliked, and avoided. It's gotten so bad, we have half the trustworthiness of lawyers. And that's saying something. Our clients don't trust us. There's a clear line connecting tracking, tech, and political radicalization and destabilization. Now that's something to think about. I mean, my wife got booted off Twitter. They said she was a robot. Now, LinkedIn said I was a robot. So I don't know who these robots are that are accusing us all, but they're wrong in both cases. We are not robots. But what's the point? The point is they don't like the robots. They don't want robots on their platform. Well, my wife is not a robot. I can vouch for her on that. And the 4 kids can too. And I'm not either. So watch out for what your robots. But the point is that this whole booting people off is for the sole benefit of the advertising and marketing industry. And that's what makes them do their squalid work. Okay? Also, old people aren't dead. I read that stuff 2 weeks ago in the Women's World Day or whatever it was. Women are majority. Do we get a day? Do men get a day? No, I guess not. We take on the dangerous, dirty jobs. So anyway, the over 50 market outspends consumers in nearly every category. But the real reason we ignore the over 50 older people is because we hate them. He says in the advertising agencies. When I was in my mid-30s, I was an old guy at the ad agency. That is really true. Everyone is young. And the guy I worked for got a facelift. He told me. I'm not going to mention his name. Anyway, this was years and years ago. We force talented people to leave while replacing them with inexpensive, inexperienced, unproven young people who know that they're next. They're not going to last. Oh, man. The past 10 years have been a lost decade. Now marketers are confused about what they do and why they do it. We're mediocre at many things and not good at anything. Okay, and I take issue with all of that because the direct marketing industry is still going. Direct mail is not dead, but the mass media, folks, the ad agencies have been bamboozled by more than a few clowns masquerading as marketing geniuses. Amen to that. I've been saying that for 30 years, or at least 25 years. Okay, so that's a good article. That's worth going over to WDMA, hitting the join button and subscribing. It's free, and you can download this article. It won't be there right away because we got a conference call in 8 minutes. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're